Coming up on Around San Diego, San Diego County leaders want to know what strategies are working and what's not in the fight against homelessness. And if you plan on heading downtown for a Padres game or a concert, you're going to start to have to pay more for parking. We'll tell you just how much. Plus, people living in Chula Vista are making their voices heard, speaking out on a proposed sports complex in the area. Hello to you and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us as we take you around San Diego. I'm CBS 8's Jenny Day, and I'll get you caught up on a week's worth of news, and we'll look ahead in less than 30 minutes. We start with San Diego City and county leaders looking at what's working and what's not in their efforts to help solve homelessness. They just gathered there in Solana Beach to highlight proven practices, identify service gaps and available resources, and explore ideas for regional collaboration. At the meeting, Chula Vista Mayor John McCann talked about the Shelter Ready app, which launched in June of this year. The app shows shelter beds available in real time, helping homeless outreach teams and volunteers quickly find a bed. County District Attorney Summer Steffen says the app helps cut the time spent searching, leaving more time for helping.
What happens is it's reduced their 40 hours a week of simply trying to make calls to find available shelter. Now that's down to 15 hours a week, so they can spend all those remaining hours actually connecting with the person and finding out what are the underlying barriers and how can they address it.
Yeah, data released in January 2024 shows a steady drop in homelessness in recent years. Just under 10,000 people are homeless in San Diego County. That's about 7% fewer than the year before, and about a 14% drop within the city alone. And new research shows beach and water advisories are expanding beyond the South Bay. Mission Bay and Encinitas are now on the list of beaches with high bacteria levels. That bacteria poses health risks to swimmers and could hurt tourism. The executive director at San Diego Coastkeeper says it's not necessarily more contamination flowing north from Tijuana, but better reporting.
Science around testing water quality has gotten better to make sure we know exactly how much bacteria is in the water, so we can make better predictions about, how to protect the public.
Yeah, he believes untreated sewage from leaky sewer pipes or stormwater drains could be pushing bacteria to unsafe levels. Beyond the beaches, the water contamination can create toxic algae blooms. In the long term, that makes the ocean more acidic, which eats away at the minerals in coral reefs and the shells of our sea life. Well, signs are now up downtown showing the new parking prices for meters there that is set to go into effect next month. During special events like Padres games and concerts, the cost will go from $2.50 an hour to $10 an hour. The city says it will affect all the meters about a half mile around Petco Park, including everything south of Broadway to Harbor Drive and 16th Street. We talked with people downtown who are stunned to hear about the new pricing.
I think it's excessive. It's already expensive to park down here, and it's going to impact my friends and family who come down and park when I don't have a spot for them in my garage. It's going to impact people who work down here, who I see park here for work.
President Joe LaCava says the money will be used within the parking district for things like paving the streets, filling potholes, and improving sidewalks. The new pricing is set to go into effect in September. And Pacific Beach neighbors are suing over a housing project that would squeeze more than 130 units onto what are now just 2 single-family lots. It would be near the corner of Pacifica Drive and Bluffside Avenue. The community group Neighbors for a Better Pacific Beach say the site is designated as a high fire risk zone, and according to local tribal leaders, sits where a historically significant Kumeyaay village once stood. Under San Diego's former ADU bonus rules, developers could build an unlimited number of units on a single-family lot if a portion were deed restricted as affordable. But in June, the City Council voted to roll back the program, adding caps on the number of ADUs allowed per lot. However, since this project was submitted prior, it may still be approved under the old guidelines.
This project is a false flag for affordable housing.
And the developer, SDRE Homebuyers, says in a statement they are, quote, committed to finding a solution to San Diego's housing crisis by building within the city's established rules and regulations. The city says the project is still under review. And the city of San Diego is considering a plan to declare nearly 40 acres in Mission Bay Park as surplus land, allowing them to avoid certain state laws while planning for the future. The move would let the city offer longer leases than the 15 years currently limited by the state, potentially attracting new developments like a hotel. Critics argue the city's true motivation may be financial. Current law stipulates most revenue generated in Mission Bay Park must remain then within the park system. By designating the properties as surplus land, the city could potentially redirect money to the general fund.
I think it's to take the money. I think they're trying to find ways to get money, and so they're going to steal money from the Mission Bay Park Fund.
Opponents of the plan emphasize the importance of preserving public access to the park, but the deteriorating condition of Marina Village has been a concern, and some council members say this can help revitalize the area. The council is delaying making a decision on this until next month. And it is official, Chula Vista now has the toughest e-bike and scooter rules in San Diego County. City leaders gave their final approval on a new ordinance that bans kids under 12 from riding e-bikes, requires helmets for minors, and prohibits riders under 18 from carrying passengers. Motorized scooters are also banned from roads with speed limits over 40 miles per hour, and violators face fines starting at $25 and up to $250 with possible bike confiscation for serious cases. The rules take effect in 30 days, but the city will spend the following 60 days first focused on education. And the Chula Vista City Council just started taking public input on a proposed 124-acre sports and entertainment complex there along the bayfront. It's going to be called the Pangia Project, and it would transform the former South Bay power plant site with parks, hotels, retail spaces, and maybe even a stadium. A local architect listed in the proposal worked on the Rady Shell and Portside Pier. Phase 1 includes a tennis center, water polo academy, mini golf course, hotels, and public trails. Then Phase 2 calls for a 50,000-seat pro or semi-pro soccer stadium.
This gives us even more opportunity to be able to help youth sports and to be able to draw in semi-professional and professional opportunities as well.
Yeah, the port signed a 6-month exclusive negotiating agreement with the McGarry Group to collect public feedback before another vote on the project takes place. And the city of San Diego is working to make temporary outdoor dining on one street in La Hoya Shores permanent. Originally a pandemic measure, so a block of Avenida de la Playa has been closed to traffic for 5 years now under a special events permit. The city is now working with the La Hoya Shores Business Association on a new long-term application. Business owners say they like the outdoor seating.
It makes the street safer, more inviting for families to come, not be worried about their children. It gives people a little more room to breathe.
Yeah, critics highlight the loss of 24 parking spots, and the California Coastal Commission does require those be replaced. But there's already a proposal moving forward for new parking spaces near Kellogg Park. Well, in a major breakthrough, a San Diego woman has now been identified as the victim of a nearly 40-year-old cold case. Authorities in Arizona say human remains found at Lake Mead in 1987 were just linked to Carol Ann Riley, who was a nurse here in San Diego. Authorities say she disappeared after telling friends she was going to break up with her man, but then told police at that time that she had canceled the date. He was later linked to other disappearances and was arrested after being featured on the show Unsolved Mysteries. He died in prison in 1996. Well, that pink fire retardant is one of the biggest weapons used when fighting fires, but while it can help save lives, it can also be destructive on the ground. If a drop is released too close to the ground, the force of that retardant is strong enough to destroy a car. It is heavier than normal water, and crews mix it with chemicals to give it that distinctive pink color. Pilots say the color helps them see where those drops land. Some of the biggest planes, like the C-130 Hercules, carries around 4,000 gallons of retardant. The Ramona Air Attack Base is undergoing upgrades to make the runway suitable for that C-130.
We're adjusting for the C-130. There's some improvements that we're needing to be made at the tarmac, so we have more of a pull-through reloading process than the current process where the planes come in and pivot.
Yeah, upgrades at Ramona are estimated to be done in about 8 to 12 months. Incredible. Coming up, you may not think you have to worry about ticks in San Diego County, but experts say that we should. We are working for you on how you can protect yourself and your family. There's been a renewed interest in learning more about Lyme disease and how to prevent it after Justin Timberlake said he was diagnosed with the tick-borne illness. We are working for you, helping you better understand the risks here in San Diego County. Because yes, ticks can be found all over here, specifically near wooded or grassy areas, and they are more prevalent during the rainy season. County leaders have not found ticks carrying Lyme disease here, though, in 5 years, so it is rare. But that doesn't mean you should let your guard down.
Recommend any EPA registered repellent like DEET, picaridin, or lemon of eucalyptus.
In addition to repellent, you should wear pants and a long sleeve top. You should also check your skin and clothing after spending time outdoors. And if you notice a tick on your skin, use tweezers, slowly pull that out without any twisting. If you are bitten, symptoms of Lyme disease typically appear 3 to 30 days after a bite. Lyme disease can be cured if treated early with antibiotics. And remember, if there ever is something you'd like us to look into in your neighborhood, just email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. Well, now to UC San Diego. It's been given the green light to move forward with plans to expand enrollment. But with that news comes questions, including whether the area can handle that type of growth. CBS 8's Shannon Handy breaks down those numbers. UC San Diego has permission to expand enrollment to 56,000 students by the year 2040. That's 10,000 more compared to last year.
UC San Diego is undergoing a lot of changes right now, with even more expected in the coming years. The University of California Board of Regents just approved revisions to UCSD's 2018 Long-Range Development Plan, which originally had enrollment top out at 42,400 by 2035. The school exceeded that in 2023 and has been accepting more students ever since. UCSD now has permission to expand to 56,000 students by 2040.
I do think it's a good thing.
Destiny Lopez is okay with adding more students as long as the university is prepared to support more people.
It's hard to get housing as like a 3rd and 4th year, and so with more students coming in, I feel like it's going to be even harder.
She also discussed a lack of parking and long lines at places to eat on campus. Another student shared some of those same concerns.
More students on campus is always good as long as UCSD has the resources and housing to take care of all those students. I don't see how it's a bad thing.
Housing capacity has long been an issue at UCSD. With San Diego rental costs significantly higher than the national average, both students and staff have rallied for affordable and available on-campus housing.
We are in a housing crisis. Housing is not affordable. We don't have enough housing here in San Diego.
UCSD says they are addressing the housing issue. Last year, the school added enough housing for 3,300 students. This year, another project which will hold 2,400 students is expected to open. And in the future, the school plans to break ground on a housing village for 6,000 students, making it one of the largest campus housing projects in the nation. In a statement, a UC San Diego spokesperson told CBS 8 expanding access to students has been a priority, adding, to support increased enrollment, the university expanded its housing strategy. We currently have the 2nd largest on-campus housing program in the country. It is a goal of a campus to provide on-campus housing for approximately 65% of the eligible student population. As a whole, the UC system reached an enrollment record last year with nearly 300,000 students. Shannon Handy.
I just think it's great, more students.
CBS 8.
Always pros and cons. Still ahead, a nonprofit has made it their mission to maintain the ocean's health. A San Diego nonprofit has made it their mission to maintain the health of all life on Earth. Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis introduces us to the group's founder in this Earth 8 report.
We are not the only animals that consider this our home. The mission of Project Kika is to be a voice for the voiceless animals that we share this ecosystem with. Let's check out this local nonprofit focused on conservation, education, and research.
From sea lions to sea turtles, Cassie Pomard wants to help protect our planet's wildlife.
I'm bawling my eyes out watching this documentary, and I came up with the notion to start my own nonprofit benefiting all wildlife.
A self-proclaimed animal craze-loving girl, Cassie's passion grew after watching a documentary called The Cove, which highlights the hunting and killing of dolphins in a part of Japan.
They're one of the most sentient beings on our planet. I kind of argue they're even more intelligent than we are, or that we give them credit for.
Initially named Saving Wildlife Project, the nonprofit became Project Kika in May 2018. They have raised money to help animals including dolphins, sharks, and sea turtles. Kika is Hawaiian for from the sea. The organization primarily focuses on the importance of ocean conservation.
Mostly because life originated from the ocean, and if it disappears, well, that leaves humanity's existence in severe jeopardy.
Cassie also serves as the lead marine biologist for Project Kika. She stresses 50 to 70% of the oxygen we breathe comes from the ocean alone.
If there's no oxygen-producing algae in our oceans, then we're not getting enough oxygen as well.
When it comes to marine wildlife, one of their latest campaigns focuses on conservation efforts for mako sharks.
Apex sharks help weed out the weaker, sick, and even dying individuals. So they're a form of natural selection and keep prey populations healthy.
They are in phase 1 of their tagging program to hopefully discover more about their ecology and set protections for them. To keep the water clean from mako sharks and other marine life, Project Kika has installed monofilament fishing line recycling bins. You may have seen them at the OB Pier, Oceanside Pier, and Crystal Pier in Pacific Beach.
And then we'll go in and collect it and then send it off to Berkeley Fishing, and they found a way to turn them into fish habitats.
They also host monthly beach cleanups, alternating between Fiesta Island and La Hoya Shores. In La Jolla, their cleanup efforts also extend beyond the sand.
At La Hoya Shores, we have that reef cleanup option. So if you want to get in snorkel gear or even scuba gear, our reusable bags can actually let you go in the water and collect any little pieces of trash you find.
The trash is collected and reported to I Love a Clean San Diego.
And they just compile all the data.
This information helps to bring awareness to our community on waste plaguing our coastline and target efforts to reduce it. To keep the monthly data flowing in, you'll find their beach cleanup schedule and learn more about this local nonprofit looking to make a splash when it comes to protecting our county at projectkaliga.org. For CBS 8, I'm Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis.
Great shot and incredible work. Carlene, thank you so much. And thank you to you so much for watching. I'm Jenny Day. Take good care.